All right. Welcome back to The Chase and the Truth. I'm your host, Kristen Campos, and we are here with Jordan Wainwright, a second-time guest to the show. Jordan, I am very excited for this interview because last time we did our last official podcast, we're running it back, but I had just met you, and so I went back and I listened to it to see, like, what did we talk about, what did we cover, and just like where your career was at that time, and high level nuggets. And now after having known you for a little over a year, there's so much depth to you that I think everybody misses when they just look at your page. You do a really good job at managing your social media page, but I'm really excited to peel back some of those layers. So for those of you all that don't know, a little background of Jordan. Jordan and I met through real estate. So I'm a lender. She's an agent and locator. And we just really hit it off. And I think the two things that we have in common is really like loyalty and work ethic in this industry. And it's just built a really strong friendship over the last year and a half. But what I knew about you then is only the tip of the iceberg of what I know about you now. So let's dive in.
Let's do it.
I know that we're just going to get right into it, but I remember we were taking a trip to Dallas, and we were working with a NAV agency, Dallas. We're going to do a little pop-by, talk to some of the agents there. And then you told me your health story, and I was shocked. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Give the audience a little background of that, and then we'll just peel back some layers from there.
Yeah, so I really grew up with health issues. So from 7th grade, I was diagnosed with a really rare kidney disease called C3 glomerulonephritis. And ultimately what that is it's my immune system that attacks my kidney. So I knew from a really young age that I was going to have a transplant. And in middle school, high school, it was a bunch of, like biopsies, tests, and they were hoping they could maybe like slow it down, and they did for a while. I did a bunch of like different treatments that worked and medications. And then fast forward, I went and played college soccer, and then I was getting my master's degree in my senior year. I was diagnosed renal failure. So I had my dialysis port placed and started that. And right after my master's, I was able to get my first kidney transplant because my sister donated an organ. So wow. Shout out to the sis. But it's something that I grew up with, and it's like despite that, like played college soccer, have just like never let that become like my identity. So it's not something that I typically share with people like until, it's like, oh, by the way, we've spent a lot of time together. Let me like open up and like share like who I actually am, so that you have a better understanding of like why I am the way that I am now.
Yeah. So imagine my shock when I heard that story. Driving to Dallas, I was in awe. So if you all are not familiar with who Jordan is and how she's developed her business, but just kind of like a brief recap, you can check out the first podcast with her that we filmed. I think it was like episode 7 or 8.
I had long hair still.
You had long hair. Yeah. So she might look different.
Yeah.
But I just, in talking to you about how you had developed your career at the time, like you really put everything into locating when I had interviewed you. I want to say it was like May of not this past year, but the year before, and generating like 200 to 300 leads a month through social media. You had just started creating a team for yourself, and you're like a mom to them. And seeing the trajectory and growth of your business is very inspiring to anybody and at any age, but especially your age. And then to realize like a couple months later, after that interview, that you did all of this with this like underlying health issue that's been a part of your life for a while. And I just like, my respect was always through the roof for you, but my respect, like if a level of respect could be deepened, it was, because it's one thing to keep your emotions in check in this industry. It's hard enough just to be in this industry, but then to add that other layer, I was like, whoa, you are something different. And also how you manage all of that with your team. Like you said, you do a very good job at not associating it with it as your identity. So let's kind of go back to, so one of the things I do want to note this, but when I went back to the interview, you were like, yeah, I was studying something about, I think it was for your master's, like kidney something. Yeah. And you're like, I was just really into it at the time. Like I just was really into that subject at the time is what you said. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's, it kind of just like.
Why are you into kidneys? So random.
That's so interesting. Yeah. And then to hear that side of you, I was like, oh, I get it. Yeah. So how has life been now for you? And we'll tell the audience this, like, we actually filmed this podcast a couple weeks ago. Yeah. But that was when things were starting to come up again, flare up, we can call it. Yeah. Walk us through what life has been like lately for you.
Yeah. So, I mean, a day, 2 days after we filmed the last one, I went in for my like routine checkup with my nephrologist, and my labs were kind of just like through the roof, and it was then time to start dialysis. I needed to do dialysis at that point, so they admitted me to the hospital that same day. I had my catheter placed, so I have this nice tube in my chest, which is so nice, but I had so nice. I had that placed while I was in the hospital, and then I stayed there.
Jordan, you make it aesthetic.
Yeah. Like I only wear baggy clothes anyway, so no one's like ever gonna see it. But I stayed in the hospital for a week, started dialysis that week in the hospital, and then they were able to get me into an outpatient dialysis clinic in Mueller. So then once I was discharged, then I started my new life, my new schedule, which is Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, 5:55 a.m. in the morning.
Wow.
Going to dialysis. And I mean, I immediately felt a difference when I started dialysis. I don't think I realized like how sick I was in the moment before, because I just like if the level of discomfort is like here, mine is like so high. Yeah. So sometimes I'm like, oh, it'll
oblivious.
Yeah, like it'll pass, you know, like and it just didn't. So then now I realize like, oh, I'm feeling like better again, like energy, like my body's like drained of toxins, and it's a huge like time suck dialysis, and it's obviously really, really hard on the body as well. And I'm like still kind of adjusting, but that's
is this new for you?
Yeah. So before I got my first transplant, I had peritoneal dialysis, which is a tube in your stomach. And it's not having to do with like pulling blood out of your body. Now I do hemodialysis, which is ultimately like they connect me to a machine and it pulls my blood out, filters it, pumps it back into my body for 4 hours.
4 hours.
Yeah, so it's like you're just like kind of sitting there. So you just like, I've tried to sleep during it and I can't. Yeah. It's like a restless, like where you feel, like uncomfortable, where you feel super fatigued, but you can't like quite go to sleep. So it's like most of the time I end up like editing a video. Like I try to get content so then I can like edit a video there, so I have something that's like fun for me because I enjoy like creating. And then it's just me and a bunch of like old peeps in there, and we all like talk.
I bet you're their favorite.
Yeah, like 100%. I think it's so funny because I always walk in the morning and everyone like looks at me like in shock. Like I'm not
You're probably
supposed
thinking
to
that
be
like
there.
you're the nurse or something coming in, but you're not.
Yeah. They're like, is your family member here? And I'm like, no, it's me. It's me.
It is I.
Yeah, it is I. Plug me up.
And so what is the difference between what the type of dialysis you had before and this one?
Yeah, so peritoneal, I would say, is like less invasive, and there's like less risk involved in it. It's really like they're pumping this fluid into your peritoneal cavity, which can like act as a filter. So they pump this fluid into your stomach, and then toxins within your body, whether it be like high urea or nitrogen or like any level that's irregular, it pulls those toxins into the fluid. You let that fluid sit in you for a while, and then you drain that fluid out. So then that's like the dialysis, and you can do it at home. Where hemodialysis, you have to go like be hooked up with a nurse. Like they have to monitor you, because it's really common in hemodialysis that your like blood pressure drops, or like you could
Do you
pass
feel like
out, or like
yeah.
it's very like is the best that I can describe it. It's just like
if you guys are listening, you have to go back and watch this on
Yeah.
YouTube. It's the face.
that's literally it. So
Wow.
that's been life recently. That's been the past 2 months. Originally, I had it Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 1:30, and I hated that because it was like in the middle of the day. So then I only had like Tuesdays and Thursdays to like do what I needed to do and feel like a human. So now that it's like the morning shift, I at least have like all of my days.
Yeah.
And I'm getting adjusted, but of course like the hope is to get a transplant sooner rather than later.
Is that on the agenda, like within a time frame that they recommended, or how long can you go with doing dialysis?
I mean, the thing that's crazy is sitting in the clinic, like you hear people talking, and there's like elderly people who have, been in there for like 10 years that have been doing this, where it's like, if you don't, I got lucky my first transplant because I had a live donor, like my sister donated, but the majority, I would say, of the population who are in renal failure are elderly patients, and they also don't get priority list when it comes to being on the UNOS list for getting a transplant. So you either get a deceased donor from like, someone who passed in as an organ donor, or you can have a family member donate, or anyone who's match. Like I'm O positive blood, so
So for those listening,
yeah, like any you got that blood, let me know. But I also too, I'm blessed in the fact that my mom had a lot of kids.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of siblings, and it's kind of just like a running joke where I'm gonna need one of their organs, like each one of them, to just like live as long as them. So hopefully the plan is like after the holidays, more like New Year, kind of getting that ball rolling and everything.
Yeah. Give yourself a minute to just adjust.
Yeah.
To like the
And
newness.
it's also too like a whole thing with like insurance and the healthcare in America, and we're not even going to get into that because that's been my whole lifetime of just like unfortunate circumstances. But it's kind of like a waiting period with insurance too, because the cost of everything is like very significant. So
expensive.
January 1st.
Yeah. Wow. I think so. The last time that we did film this, you were like, did you not see my face and how I looked? But honestly, I didn't notice. But to you, that you see your own self every day, you're like, no, that was so different.
Yeah.
And I remember at the end of that one, I asked, so like, kind of like, what is the outcome? And like, when do you think you'll start dialysis? And you literally, it was towards the end of the interview, and you're like, I mean, it could be in a couple months. It could be next week.
And 2 days.
And it was 2 days. Yeah. But now in retrospect, when you had rewatched that back, you're like, oh no, my body really needed that.
Yeah. Like I think back to how I was feeling the last time we did it, and it was just like congestion, face, like holding on to so much fluid that needed to be like drained out of my body. And I watched that and I immediately saw my face and I was
I
like,
don't know. I don't even know if you saw the whole thing, but you're just like, no.
Kristen, like it's one thing for me to tell the people I'm sick, but it's another thing for me to look at. So
We're going to scratch that
backtrack.
one.
Yeah, let's do it again.
That one
after
goes in the
I'm done.
archives.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's great to just see you. I mean, you do such an amazing job, Jordan, at like managing your emotions. We have a couple of business transactions going on, and I've always seen your level-headedness in everything that we've done work-wise. But then now to see that on the other side of things, where like arguably matters the most, right? Because business and work will come and go, and it's a blessing to even do that, like to get to go to work. But when your health is at risk, like everything goes out the window.
Yeah.
And including for most people, emotions. So how has that been for you, managing your emotions and like keeping it together? Because I know you're human.
Yeah. Therapy. Like I go to therapy every single week. Like don't want to miss that. That's been huge just as an outlet to like talk about how I'm feeling, but at the same time this is like something that I've kind of been conditioned with, like having grown up with. Like I've grieved my own health like the majority of my life. So at this point it's more of like in other situations, I can see how it really benefits me because same thing I was saying in the level of discomfort, like a situation that may make someone else like so stressed or so anxious. For me, I'm like, baby, this is in the bag. Like we're right here. I'm going to say it with this tone of voice. We're going to like get it done. And this is no stress on my back because I have this whole other category of life that is what I would consider to be like the most stressful and like unfair situation that I've had to learn to just accept. So if I can learn to accept that my own body is attacking itself, then nothing is like too far out of my control. Or if it is out of my control, then it doesn't deserve like weight on my emotions. And there are some days for sure where I'm like, oh, this is like so unfair, or I feel bad, and oh, like my business was going up, and now I have to kind of like reel it back and stop. And now I'm watching all these other people, and it's just kind of like, I would say that's the cons of social media of like, oh man, I still want to be in it and I don't want to fall behind, or like I put so much effort into creating what I have now, I don't want it to just like fall off. So I think there are days where it's hard, but I just have to constantly remind myself like there's a bigger picture, right? Like there has to be, because I think of after I had my first transplant, like I had my transplant and then boom, I started in real estate and I accelerated and now I am where I am. So I can have the perspective of like, oh, while I was healthy and while I had that kidney, I was able to do so much and accomplish so much. And for that, I'm really grateful. Where now I've put in all the legwork. Like it's okay if I'm not like on that level that I used to be, and like help the agents on my team, like do what I can, not push it, and know that there's like going to be a time that I do make a comeback and that I'm healthy. And like the best thing that I can do for myself right now is take that pressure off of me and just focus on like being healthy and like listening to my body, which I think is something when you are so busy and you're like wrapped up in the chaos of like the go, that you can forget to like check in and be like, hey, how am I feeling? Or like, oh my God, it's 3:00 and I haven't drink water or eaten lunch or anything. So it's like, that's totally where I was at. And then I think now I'm like, I could have been so much kinder to like the healthy body that I had. And then at the same time, it's like, well, I was just like doing what everybody else does. Like, so it's kind of like realizing that my body, I don't have the luxury of like doing that, and I have to be more mindful. So to answer your question, I think I think that therapy has been huge for me. It's really like grounded me. It's made me like zoom out. I really feel like this is has to be happening for some kind of purpose or some kind of reason, or that there's some kind of lesson that I need to learn in all of it, or that it's just going to help me like connect with someone else in the future or impact someone else through my like shared experiences. And I think that we just have to wait and see what the lesson is at the end of the day, but I just have to accept where I'm at right now.
Yeah, and then just keep moving.
Yeah.
I think the last time you said you're like, I just take it one day at a time.
Yeah.
And emotionally, sometimes I think that that's all you can do. So this podcast is based on the chase and the truth, right? So like just this constant grind and then the truths that you've discovered from it. What would you say is like the biggest truth or lesson in this whole experience?
That like you have to be your priority at the end of the day. Like I was like chasing something which was making me work an insane amount. Like that's all I did. Wake up, content, post a house. I was touring back to back to back to back with clients, and I love it. Like don't get me wrong, like I loved the chaos, but then again, like I've realized now that I love that because that's just what I'm familiar with. I'm not familiar with the calm, the peace, that was my comfort zone. So where I'm at now, not working like that or not overextending myself, this is uncomfortable for me, where I have to just kind of like sit and like reflect and try to accept where I'm at now, instead of like maybe disassociating into something that I know that I can control, which is my work and how successful I am. And like that to me was like everything in that moment. And I think now it's like, well, my life is on the line, and it's like I have all of that, and that's so great, and I'm so blessed that I was able to create that. But am I like doing anything with it? You know, like where's that money going? What am I doing with it? What's the purpose? What's, you know, so it's kind of like, what was I chasing something that maybe I needed to sit in this uncomfortable stage to learn something. And I think what I've learned is like, I wish I would have zoomed out a little bit when I was healthy, so that I could have stayed healthy maybe a little bit longer and not like put my body through the amount of like stress that I was going through.
Do doctors know exactly why? Because you've had a replacement before. Do they know why your body is attacking itself again?
Yeah, so it all comes down to like there's different antibodies in your body. Some like you're taking immunosuppressant medications the whole time, or like anti-rejection medications, so that your body like doesn't get those antibodies. But I went to a music festival out in LA back in May this year, and I picked up this fungi called valley fever, which is like in the sand. And for like a regular person, like my friends that I was there with, like they're totally fine. Like they may have had a cough after, because it's like ACL, where there's so much dust in your lungs, but except for the dust out there has like fungi in it that's really like deadly and dangerous for someone like me who's already immunosuppressed. So it basically got into my lungs and created havoc. So I first started like feeling like a fever, and then my whole body just like broke out in a rash. I started swelling again, and I started to get like, I don't know, these like weird bumps that were kind of like almost like boils. And I'm like, what's going on? All of my like, so I went to the ER, and then I went to the ER, and they were like, your kidney's not working. And they did a bunch of tests and they did biopsies. So it was an acute kidney injury that ultimately like that valley fever sent my immune system into like overdrive, and it was my immune system to begin with that attacked my OG kidneys that I was born with. So it was just like a crazy fluke of my immune system like really flaring up, and then it went haywire. So they did a bunch of treatments to try to like slow the rejection or reverse the rejection, but at the time there was like too much scarring like already done to my kidney. So it was kind of, you know, just waiting for.
So in essence, just getting like a grasp of like the actual medical situation. So in essence, it's scarred enough, and that's why.
Yeah, they call it fibrosis, like
Okay.
in your kidney. So you have like, it's just really like scarring of the glomeruli that ultimately like that's what filters the blood. So then when you're not like filtering and like your kidneys damaged, then you are like holding in like toxins in your body. So then that's why I got like super puffy, or like my lungs started to like fill up with fluid, and I like had a bad cough and like phlegm, and just like my whole body was just like inflamed. Where now I've done a lot of stuff other than just being on dialysis, but I've changed my entire diet. Like I don't eat out anymore. I cook everything at home, which I was always healthy before, but it's like, even like if I wanted like a treat, you know, now I have to be like, I can't, there's sodium. Like I'm very mindful now, where I feel a lot better now that I've started dialysis, which that's just, you know, working as your kidney. And then also I've just started taking really good care of my body. So.
Well, I'm glad that you're feeling so much better from I remember that hospital in and out, just trying to figure out what it was. And you're like, I don't know, I got this. I think we're doing some good deals back then too. And you're like, I don't know, I've just got this weird rash today. I'll be at the doctor's office.
Yeah.
You know, okay.
I was like, I think for the last three transactions that we've done together, I like submitted the offer while I was in the hospital bed. And then I'm like, Nick, you need to go to the inspection.
Nick
like I can't be there. I'm in a hospital gown. Like, so it was that, I think that was like June, July.
Yeah.
And it was really starting to hit heavy then. And then I think August, it really started to hit. And I was like doing everything I could at that point to be like, how can I reverse this? How can I reverse this? I was like freaking out, and like my mental state probably like wasn't also the best then. And I was definitely far more emotional because I was like feeling shame and guilt that I didn't like take better care of myself at that point in time, or like, oh my God, this kidney, I got it, and now I'm like, I have to do it again. And like, that's my worst fear. Like that's my worst nightmare, to have to go through this again. And then it just happened. But it's also kind of like, I don't know, I've learned a lot of stuff then where it's like, I always knew that was worst case scenario. So did I like manifest that in some way of like, instead of just being like,
it's just, I think your brain can't live in like fear and faith at the same time. Like if you were to choose to live in fear when you had your kidneys, like, okay, well, I don't know, like what is that like when you're just always coming from a place of like lack and scarcity? I think that would have transcended into every part of your life. So, you know, if anything, you should be just so grateful for. I don't think you could have done anything else right or wrong, you know, because if you would have like, oh my God, if I would have just taken care of myself better, or you know, like I think that scarcity mindset would have transcended into every aspect. Your work, your relationships.
And I think at the time it's like I've already learned so many lessons, and it's only been like just this year, but I think like at the time everybody's like doing the best that they can with like what they have and what they're dealing with. And I also too, like, I grew up sick and then I played college soccer. So I never had my like fun era. I was like so disciplined, so strict, grew up in a very disciplined household. So then when I finally was healthy, I was like, now I can be in my 20s
Oh, I'm normal.
and like I'm normal.
Yeah.
I'm like going out with my friends. And I think that is where I started to feel the most guilt because I'm like, oh, that was bad and I shouldn't have done that and I shouldn't have gone out and I shouldn't have like done those things.
Gone
But
to a music festival.
yeah,
Like you could have never known.
I know. And then I'm just like, no, that's like not fair. Like people my age are doing that. I just like unfortunately have to be safer. Like, and that's just what it is.
Yeah.
So I've like let go a lot of those feelings, but I think to begin with, I was very like emotional about like, this is my fault and I can't believe I like did this to myself.
It's so interesting because you could very easily just be like the victim.
Yeah.
You know? And
Yeah.
And instead of being the victim, you're like, no, actually it's my fault. I did
like,
this
I'm
to
the
myself.
problem. Yeah, like
You're like, I take responsibility for everything.
Yeah, no, for real. I'm like, no, I'm the problem. It's my fault, even though this has literally been happening since 7th grade.
Yeah.
But it's just something that, you know, has shaped me in many ways. So
Yeah. And I will, like, going back to your first interview, because what you've accomplished over the last couple years when you had your good kidney is remarkable, and nobody can take that away from you. And I think that work ethic is so like special and should be treasured, and just say like, if anything, that's, you know, you have so many great qualities, but that's one of like your greatest qualities because it impacts so many people. But there's no secret to success. My sister had seen something about Alex Earl, I think is her name. She's an influencer.
Dancing with the Stars.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, you know, people are like, because how did she end up on Dancing with the Stars? She's just a person, and now they're getting these influencers on there. And you could say whatever you want, but she talks about a season of like a couple of years where she was posting 3 to 4 times a day. Like, content 3 to 4 times a day. And then I went back to your interview and I was listening to it, and you're like, oh yeah, sometimes I would be posting like sometimes 3 to 4 times a day. I was like, and obviously like algorithm is different, TikTok, Instagram, it's all different. But that grind or hustle, like nobody can take that away from you, and it's put you in a better position to handle round 2.
Yeah.
And after round 2, like, I mean, what happened after round 1 was amazing.
It's
like
over for everybody. I don't know.
Game
I'm gonna
over.
become the mayor or something. Like, I don't know, president.
Watch out.
Yeah.
Jordan is coming back. Yeah, because
Yeah.
we just don't know what's on the other side of this. But that's so exciting.
Yeah. I don't know, but that's, I think, what you hold on to during the process, because it's like I have the experience of knowing, and also too it's just like a knowing of self, where it's like, okay, well, if I put my life on a screen, like there's been a lot of different like challenges or hardships, and if anything, I've always proved to myself that like that's not it. Like I'm gonna overcome it, and I'm gonna come out stronger, and there's a lesson in it, and I've just like done that every single time. So then now it's like I know that will happen. Like that's actually the only thing that can happen. So
and it's where your hope can lie.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like one could have said that soccer was your identity, and you know that's where you applied your work ethic, and you were a success. I mean, collegiate athlete is amazing, and then that was taken away. You're like, all right, round 2, what are we doing? And you applied it into this industry, and so. Whether you continue to apply it in this industry and it just like turns into another dynasty, or you apply it in something else, like whatever it is, you're going to be successful. But at the end of the day, you know that your identity is not in any of it, but just in who you are right now in this like very moment.
Yeah.
I think it's super special because I've worked with you over the last year and a half that we've known each other, maybe 2 years now.
2.
And you have sown a lot of seed, and now you've reaped a bunch of very deep relationships, friendships, co-working relationships as well. And I have to give a shout out to Nick because
That's my boy.
if you all don't know this, like this business still goes on. It continues.
It sure does.
The show doesn't
Shout out
stop.
Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you know, you're like, if you're one of my clients, you're in a group chat with him, so you know what's up. Like, and everybody, like, everyone knows. And it's just like, it's really cool for one, being able to work with my best friend, because it's like, he's in the hospital next to me, like, with his computer. And I'm like, I would be so probably in the dumps if my business was at an all-time stop. So I'm really thankful that, like, he's there to, like, help, and he's incredible, and he also works hard, and he's smart, and he's also my best friend.
Yeah.
So I'm blessed that it's all happened when it has happened, because I can lean on him and also all the other agents on my team for, you know, and then also too accepting, like, I don't need to take on all these clients right now. I can say no and, like, make sure it's healthy. And I'm like, because I always want to show up in, like, the best way that I can with the energy that I have. And, like, I don't want to be a sick realtor. Like, I don't want to, you know, so it's kind of like Nick really picks up for where, like, I can't, or, like, on days that I can't, or if it's like a Monday and I'm like, Nick, I can't. Dialysis killed me today. He's always like, what can I bring you? Are you okay? I got it. And then I just see my phone blowing up with, like, him texting and following up with people. So yeah, that's, like, incredibly special, and I'm really blessed to have him, like, so close to me.
It's like a little copy paste.
Yeah, he's my boy.
He is. And also, I would say that the clients that you do have, they're so special. Like, even my processing team is like, how do you get so lucky to have, and I was like, it's not me, it's the agents that I partner with, and every client that we work with, they just have, like, the best demeanors, the best hearts. And it's amazing that Nick is also alongside and able to, like, take him to showings when you can't be there. And I actually don't remember which specific transaction it was, but it was sometime in the fall, and we went under contract, and we were, like, scheduling inspection, or I think you had scheduled and then you were, like, had to go to the hospital because it was one of those days. And he calls me. He's like, where am I supposed to be? Just tell me where I need to be. And I was like, I don't know, but I think this is the inspector's number. Like, call him, see what was scheduled, you know? Because you were out of pocket. And he just figures it out. Finds where the ball was left. And not that it was dropped, but left, and picks it up and runs. And it's just so beautiful to see all of the work that you've done, put all of that together, not just financially, but, like, friendship-wise as well. So, and I think that those are the treasures of life. You know?
No, most definitely. Like, if anything, right now, it's really helped me zoom out to, like, look at all the relationships that I have in my life of, like, okay, who really knows me? Who knows all of this stuff? Who's really there? Because it's like social media is just like a mask, right? You only show, like, what you want to show. And I'm definitely not showing, like, hey, I'm the sick girl and this is my identity. So it's like I have a core group of people who are experiencing, like, this other life with me right now, which I think is, like, those people are so incredibly special to me, because they see the vulnerable me. They don't see, like, this huge boss and managing a team. Like, they see, like, a vulnerable baby. So that to me is really special. So, and I think the relationship that I have with Nick is so incredibly special, because he sees me in both. Like, he's been along for the ride. He's now worked with me for almost 2 years. So that's just, it's been incredible. And then I have just an incredible team of, like, agents. Like, in Austin, we almost have 100 agents on the team now. And all of them are incredible. All of them are their own, like, individual entrepreneurs, their own individual brands, which is exactly, like, how I wanted this team to shape out and be. So it's like, I feel a lot of success and just watching them be successful now. And right now, like, I don't need to be the number one agent. In fact, like, I'm so happy to see Braylon, Tiana, Skylar, Leo, like, et cetera, et cetera. I'm so happy and excited to see them having the success that I've been able to have. That to me is a lot more powerful. And I think that to me right now fills the cup far more than me burning myself out with a bunch of deals. Like, maybe in the future when I'm healthy again, I'll of course like be doing it with a better balance. But yeah, I think I feel a lot of success in seeing my team be successful right now.
Yeah, and I think that you can really, your team can feel your heart behind that. It's actually amazing because you were like, oh, when we were rebooking this podcast, you were giving me your dialysis schedule, and you're like, oh, wait, actually, so we moved the team breakfast from Mondays to Tuesdays because and like you weren't just gonna like cancel that.
Yeah.
Or you weren't just going to be like, do it on your own. You're like, no,
Yeah.
we're still going to do it because that's like your little family. Like you so back into them. And you genuinely have so much joy when you see them succeed.
Yeah.
And that is super special. Super special.
Yeah.
Do you have any, just any wrap up thoughts on what you see for yourself in the I know that you take it day by day in the upcoming months. What would be like your ideal plan over the next couple of months?
Well, right now, definitely wanting to end December strong. And I think that all of this has kind of like put me down for like long enough where I was kind of taking a step back from like working or being an agent myself, where this month, like all of a sudden, we have one under contract right now. I'm meeting with HVAC after this. I have another one coming into town next week, and hopefully our others are submitting an offer today. So I'm this month, I want to end on a high to really like shape how I'm going into 2026. And then 2026 is going to be all about just like health and getting healthy again, focusing on getting a transplant, starting to get testing done with potential donors, family, because once I do find a match, it's as quick as like a week to 2 weeks. Like they can, once you're like good to go, you found a match, like it's really simple process from there.
And what's like the healing time behind that?
So my sister, when she donated, they discharged her from the hospital the very next day. They go in like through the belly button of whoever donates. It's not as invasive as like getting the transplant put in. But her recovery, she was like, sore for like a week and a half or so. And then because your body is adjusting to only having one kidney at that point, she was like swelling up for a little bit until her kidney like accommodated.
Wow.
And now she's totally fine. She's healthy. So that was maybe only a few months like adjusting for me. I was in the hospital like a week after I got my transplant, just to like make sure there wasn't rejection, make sure that like the body accepted and everything was working fine. And then when I got out, it was really kind of, I would say maybe a 3 to 4 month recovery, where a lot of it was like where I have my scar, they like cut through a big bundle of nerves. So it's like I didn't have feeling in my leg for a while, or just like these random things on the right side of my body, as well as just like fatigue and adjusting. But overall, because I had been sick for so long, as soon as I had that kidney, my body like accepted it, and I lost like 20 pounds of water weight in the hospital.
Wow.
And then so I felt significantly better after the transplant because I was like, I had a working kidney.
Yeah.
Where like the donor, it does take a little bit to adjust to only having one kidney. So I would say either way, it's pretty tough. I think my sister would say that it wasn't too bad. And that's the plan. That's the game plan. So, and then I can't wait to get a kidney and then book a flight to a beach because I can't travel right now.
Yeah.
And just like, I think that I'll have such a great appreciation of just like life and health, and like won't take that for granted.
Like you can almost like see it and taste it.
Yeah, like it's so close, but I just have to like do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday thing and like make the most of my days on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturday and Sunday. Like those are my day to like experience life and be happy that I'm like living, even if this is like my current circumstance.
Yeah, I think your mind, the way you were wired from in our first podcast, we talked about your upbringing.
Yeah.
And how you have always been very disciplined, always been very regimented, and where that stemmed from in your childhood with that. So it's almost as if, because like receiving the news that you're having to go back to dialysis, I can't even comprehend like the emotions or the, and I'm sure you had your, because you're human, like I'm sure you had your moments of just crying. Like,
oh my God, yeah. I sobbed when my doctor was like, we can't let you go home. Like, we need to admit you to the hospital. Like, you need dialysis. And I just, like, in that moment, I felt like my world was ending. But then at the same time, it was like a light switch of like, okay, now I know. Now I know, and I have a plan, because the months before it was like, is it going to start working again? Is it not?
right.
When am I going to start dialysis if I have to start it? Like, where there wasn't like any kind of,
It was like a very like like holding period.
floaty period. And it's like, I'm someone who I don't like to be floaty.
Right.
Like, I want structure,
I need
routine,
something.
know what I'm doing. Like, so I think the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, like, this is my life. It's actually like really helped me snap back into like a good schedule.
I was gonna say, I think that because of your regimentedness, if that's even a word, from back in the day, like you just flip the switch. Like eventually you're just like, all right, this is, and you're like that in everything. And I see that also in transactions, like, oh, we got to get this inspection. Cool. Let's run the play. Like you just like you just turn on that mode and now you know, and you're running the play, so to speak. One of your many talents. Doing that.
Yeah.
What excites you?
What excites me? God, I think right now it's like the small things, where it's a Tuesday or Thursday when I wake up and my body feels clean and I feel energetic and like close to my old self. Or like a Saturday and Sunday when like the weather is nice and then I am feeling great and I can like step outside and I can do things without thinking about how bad I'm feeling, because for a while I didn't even want to do anything or leave my house or see anyone, because like I knew if I went out socially, like I couldn't hang. I was going to be feeling bad. Then I would be putting my body more in jeopardy. So I think now it's just like getting back to like actually life in the moments where I'm feeling good. Like, that's exciting. My team also is exciting. Like, it keeps growing. I keep watching people like hit higher and higher numbers. Our software at our company, they keep rolling out new features, and that is the future of apartment locating. And yeah, I think those are the moments I'm like hanging on to, where it's like it really is day by day, and it's I feel great today, so let me make the most of today and like really live life. And also let me like cherish the moments that I have with like people that I care about, and what makes me feel full right now, which is like helping others, being with my team, because they've been there through this whole experience too, you know. It's like as soon as I went to the hospital, it was me in the chat like, hey guys. and everyone has been like so supportive and so like, let me know what you need. And, you know, so it's kind of just been, that's my extended family, because like my family isn't in Austin. So it's like I really just have my people who are here like experiencing it with me, and they're all a part of it. Yeah.
I think although you're going through some major temporary health issues, we'll call them temporary, you have built such a complete life, filled with a lot of people that love you, and and you love them back. And I think that like that's just the joy and treasure of life.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And nobody can take that away.
Nobody.
Nobody. So I'm excited for what's to come after round 2.
Yeah, same.
And just love you so much as a person, and I'm so proud of you. How you navigate everything is wild to me, and it's very inspiring.
Thank you.
What is the hope? Last question here. What is the hope that you, or your desire for those listening to today's podcast? What is your desire for them?
I think for one, it's like, I don't know. I think it's easy to look at someone on social media and like create a perspective, or like, this is what it is. And I think me wanting to like share and open up is just more so like, I'm a real person going through real stuff right now. And like, Instagram may be cool and aesthetic and whatever, you know, but it's like, that's just like, that's ultimately just a mask that I have. Like, I'm actually in very like vulnerable, loving, supportive person, and just like big heart before anything else. So I think that there's that side of it. And then there's also a side of like health in general. And like, if someone hears this who is also like caught in the hustle and in the chaos, and that's comfortable to them and they love that and they thrive, then I would also challenge them to be uncomfortable in the stillness and see what lessons like come from that. And also just like slow down and like make sure that you're taking care of yourself on top of all of that as well. So I think it's just like a perspective switch of like, yeah, I'm this on social media, but like, hey, this is like the real life and the real me and what I'm actually experiencing and going through right now. But we're doing it and we're going to come out better. And also I hope that if anyone else is like experiencing anything similar, or like, I hope that maybe this touches someone that it needs to, or that needs to hear something, and they can reach out to me on Instagram and send me a message and we can talk about it, because we're all humans and humans want connection. And yeah, social media is just a mask, like
More than anything.
Like, yeah.
Thank you so much for wanting to come back on and share, because you are a very private person, and rightfully so. Like, we don't want to tell the world everything, you know, naturally. That's just not how we're wired. But you have created a platform that has, I mean, when I first just saw your Instagram, I think the Graham brothers are the ones that had shared your Instagram with me at first. I was like, oh, she's so cool. Like, oh, that's so intimidating, you know? I even wore my super cool jacket because you're so chic. I was like, I'm going to come dress for Jordan because she just knows style.
I love it.
But then getting to know, like, 'cause that's just one side of you.
Yeah. That's the mask.
That's the mask.
Like the
cool
tattoos, and the
like
intimidating,
mystery.
the mystery. Like that's a mask, because I just like don't want everyone to know that I'm a sensitive baby.
She's just
I'm
a girl.
just a girl. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I'm so thankful that you wanted to come back and just choose this podcast to share that side of you, because you really didn't have to, but I love that side of you, of the person that you are behind the scenes. It makes you who you really are. And the lucky buyers and renters that get to work with you. They're so blessed to do that because they get to see all of who you are.
Yeah.
But I'm so thankful that you wanted to share that side because you are for sure inspiring, and even more so them knowing that side of you. So
Thank you.
So we're gonna keep running it back. I think it's been like a little over a year
today
and a
was
half.
dialysis. We haven't even gotten into my daddy issues
Yeah.
yet. So that'll be a whole other
That'll be
hour
another
long.
Yeah.
We need hours for that.
Yeah.
But
You can kind of get a taste of that side of the story, just a nugget on the first podcast.
yeah.
Then listen to this one, and then we'll have part 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't even have to wait that long
In
to
a
do that.
in a summary, like to soon, like
Yeah.
my dad wants to get out of prison to donate a kidney to me.
Mic drop.
Mic drop. And that's like a summary of my daddy issues. So.
Okay, but like, why would that be?
For one, he's in prison, but for two, like I don't want his kidney.
Ooh,
Like, I
we'll
don't-
hear why on the
Yeah,
next
like
podcast.
you're gonna hear why I don't want his kidney in the next one, but that's all we're leaving you with
Is
for
he a
now.
match?
Probably. Like it probably would end up coming down to like he's the one person on the earth that could save me or that could give me a kidney.
Whoa.
I don't know that.
That's not, no,
That's not
we're
gonna
putting
happen.
it in. We take
There's
that back.
so many people with O plus blood.
Yeah.
Like actually, there's so many
There's
people.
actually so many people, yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa. Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about that on the next one.
Yeah. On the next.
Okay. See you guys later.
Bye.